Okay, first video of several to create a template file, one that we tailor to our desires and or needs for several of the drawings we're going to do. You don't want to have to keep doing the same functions over and over to set up a new drawing. Now there is an option we could do a save as after we've done a drawing, but sometimes it's a little bit easier, quicker, a little safer to just create a template file. Template, like any template, a stencil, a piece of plastic with predetermined holes, shapes, sizes, that's already decided ahead of time. Same thing for us. That's what a template file is. Mentioned before, a DWG extension on a file is an AutoCAD drawing file. Template files, as you see here, have a DWT, again an AutoCAD template file. And so again, we come here, we open up AutoCAD. This is our start window. If we just click here, start drawing, the last, either the default or the last template file used is what this will then create. Now my recommendation, I always go down, usually it is acad.dwt. That is the one I recommend you use. There are several. If you notice, there's under sheet sets, there are some that are already architectural, civil, manufacturing. Here there's a few for tutorial purposes that AutoCAD has. You notice that I have several, or I have a few different ones, but in this case I'll start same as you. We're going to start with acad.dwt. And the location, I will say, if I go back to start, the location of these files are in a very specific location where AutoCAD knows to look at them or to grab them, and these are somewhat public. So someone else using the computer, that's where AutoCAD will jump to use or to access those files. So it's going to be a little bit more challenging since you might be on different computers each time you come to class. You might, of course, you're going to want to possibly use that computer in the lab as well as others elsewhere, your computer at home. This location for these template files are not in a place where you're going to access them at home or from different computers. This is actually stored on the hard drive of the computer you are on at the time. So we'll have to be a little bit a little innovative there, a little creative on how we can save it to where you can take it with you, grab it, send it to yourself, whatever it may be, so then you can use it no matter which computer you're on. So again, we've started a drawing 3 in my case. Yours probably says drawing 1 or 2, or doesn't matter. First thing, my recommendation, every time you start a new computer document, whether it's a drawing or anything else, smartest thing to do, in my opinion, is to save. So Control S or Q save, or click it up here on the quick access toolbar. Now here's where we want to be careful and pay attention to what's going on. When you save a drawing, which is likewise the same thing you do as opening a drawing, very first thing is your file name, and it was already highlighted in blue. I've already backspace or deleted mine. Let's go ahead and type this as decimal template, and this will make a little bit more sense to you later when we get a little farther in. Decimal template, because there is a possibility someone else might be in the same location or looking for their template in the same location you save yours. My recommendation, go ahead and do a dash or sometimes space dash space and type your name, either your initials, your last name, first name, whichever name you want. I'll go ahead and do this, decimal template maple. Now instead of hitting enter, which I can and it saves, anytime you save a drawing or a document in that matter, you really need to pay attention to where it's located. Now in this case, I happen to be in a subfolder that has to do with some of drawings that I do for other people, and or at least in other projects that I'm working on. That's not where I want this to be. So I'm going to go up here, and I may have mentioned before, there are 3 primary things you want to consider when you are saving a document so that you can then ensure you're looking to open a document later on, and that would be the file name here, the file type. Here's my DWG. AutoCAD 2018 is the one I'm working on currently, drawing file DWG, and its location, and that's way up here. You drop it down, you see the path. Now I happen to be currently on a Google Drive folder. You might be, it might show this PC, it might be under your name, which is normally on the hard drive of the PC. You might want to change to the O drive if you have a protected drive, or your thumb drive. If you have that plugged in, it might say E or F, or a lot of different file drive names there. So pay attention to where this is located. Again, it's great that you've saved it. You still need to know where you save it. So where, the file name, and then of course the file type. Now let me go ahead and put this, I'm just going to put it on my desktop for now. And so that is where. The what is the decimal template dash maple, or in your case your name. And then again, more of the what is what type. Now it's okay if you save this as a DWG. If you want to save it as a template, you can go down here about halfway, AutoCAD drawing template.dwt. That's the only template file here. Here's a bunch of DXF. Those of you who have CNC machines, laser cutters, plasma cutters, a lot of times those machines read DXF type files. This is where you'd select it. And here are some older files of DWG type files. I'm not going to get into the DWS, but in this case I'm going to go ahead and select drawing template. Now one thing we should notice is I changed to AutoCAD drawing template file type. This is the extension, and right now it's only showing me template files. And if you didn't notice, look up here again, my location changed. Again, here is the location where all those template files are located. On this computer, the hard drive, what's called, often referred to as C drive, users, my name, app data, local, Autodesk, AutoCAD 18, R22, ENU, template. And that is where all of these files exist. Now, these happen to be the same files. I'm going to go ahead and cancel. Come back to start. That's these files here. If I save a new template file in that location, and if you want to do that, if you're going to, let's say you have your own personal computer, you know it's going to be one that you're the only one using, that's the one you use all the time, I'll go ahead and change the file type first. It takes me to this location, and then I can go ahead and give it that file name, decimal template maple. And if I save, which I will here in a second, and I'll show you it'll be there, well, just that, it is there. Now this is asking if you want to give a few notes, such as for a pop-up window to remind you what it is. I'm just going to feet and inches. No, I'm going to delete that. I'm just going to leave it blank. Doesn't matter if you do. And here it shows decimal template maple. Now if I come back to start and I drop it down, I see right there decimal template maple. So that's how that works. Now also, and let me get back to this window. When I look here to where this path is, if you go to Windows Explorer or File Manager, File Explorer, this is actually a hidden folder under C:users or whatever drive you're on, users, your name. App data is a hidden folder, which then subsequently makes all of these hidden, meaning it's not something you will see. I'll go ahead and bring it up. C:users, here's my name. Now I'll go ahead and click on Maple. App data is not on here at all because it's hidden. The reason it is hidden is because they don't want people to accidentally access it and modify it and change it and move it or give it a different name. Why? Because up here under the application menu icon, on the application menu options, I've shown you this before under setup, Takes a little while to come up the first time. Here on files, again, I've mentioned here all these different files: support file search path, working support file search path, trusted locations, so on and so forth. Let's see if I can find, I don't see template files on here. It's in there somewhere. I've never bothered to change it. I don't have a need to change it, but these locations, all these different folders, plot and publish, temporary save, or automatic save right here. Again, C: users, Roger Maple, app data, local temp. If I get into Windows Explorer and I may modify any of those folders, such as their name, these will not be able to, if they don't exist, or they've been moved, or they've been modified. App data, if I change the name to app data folder, it's still looking for a folder called app data. It doesn't exist. It's going to have problems. All of these functions here will no longer work, and AutoCAD basically just won't work near as efficiently or as smoothly as you'd like it to, or as that it was designed to be. So that's why it is a protected or a hidden folder. So again, that's okay. Now also, the reason I had you do your name is I'm on this computer and I'm in this template folder where it shows decimal template maple. When I go to that start menu and open up or start a drawing using a specific template, again, this is a public folder. This is one that everyone using that computer will see and or access. Well, if they make a template file, they save it as the same file name that you saved it for a template file, or they had one and they saved their first, you saved your second. Things change, and all of a sudden yours is the template file they're using, or vice versa, thinking that it was yours, but yet it belongs to the other person. So again, going to kind of cause some problems. So I recommend putting your name on it, as well saving it at a different location. I can still save this as a template file and just simply go to here and change or select a new location for this, or for my template. And I recommend you doing that. That way you can have a backup copy. You can have a protected copy, whether you put it onto a thumb drive, again, your O drive, anywhere else. Otherwise, well, if you come in and your file's gone, it wasn't your fault, someone else did it. Well, it wasn't your fault, but hey, welcome to the real world. It is still under your control to make sure you don't lose your information. You do everything you can or should have done to make sure your work doesn't get lost. So I've already saved this. Let's see, find out how long this video is. I'm at almost 15 minutes. It's already a little too long. So I've created this. Again, any changes I make to this now, I'm going to make sure I save. And then when I close this, now back at my start menu, here are my recent documents, and here is my decimal template maple. Now it doesn't show me that that is a DWT, but if I hover over it, a lot of times I'll get a little window popping up, and there's the long path, is what that's called, C: users, blah 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 blah. To the far right, it shows decimal template maple DWT, and so that is the one I want. If for whatever reason if I close that's good to know if it's not located on here. But in this case, here I have it. Now I've opened or started a new file using it. It is not the template file here. I just, in a way, made a copy of it. I'm borrowing it, and the settings already exist in it for this new file. If for whatever reason, okay, this isn't the template file, but I do make changes I want to be saved to my template file, I can go ahead and make those changes, those settings, and then I can either, if I've saved, now I'll just say this one is temp delete. That's just a note for me to delete it later. And so this is a different file, but now I've made some new changes I do want to take effect into my template file. As long as I haven't deleted anything else I need or want, all I have to do is up here on the access toolbar, quick access toolbar, not save, but do a save as. And as you do a save as, here you can again change it to your template file. In this case, it took me back to the original location. I can just click here, decimal template maple, click save, and it's going to say are you sure you want to do this? Do you want to replace it because you're getting ready to overwrite it? And in my case, I would say yes. I've made changes. I now want the current drawing that I'm in to be my template, and I hit OK. And now that is, notice, the template file. It's no longer the file that it was that I had open or that I was creating. Now, so again, if I am wanting to use this for a different file, you need to save this, close it, or do a save as again for the other project that you might be working on. I'd say that is enough for now. You might want to keep that file open for the next video.